Morning all. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Sunday, October the 29th, 2 days from Halloween. Starting off with, for tonight's Heritage game, it sounds like McDavid's going to go. He was full participant in an outdoor practice yesterday, and it sounds like he's going to play. He's all but confirmed he's going to play tonight. We'll see if that's the right call or not soon enough, but an outdoor game, the Heritage Classic, I totally understand why he would want to be like, this is fine, I'll just play through it. We'll see how many minutes he plays, whether or not he plays the whole night on the first line, and, what kind of minutes he gets. But, again, it's Connor McDavid. Would I necessarily be surprised if he gets 22, 23, 24 minutes tonight? Not really. No, he's Connor McDavid. Let me know your thoughts on that. Now, the Shane Pinto thing. Elliot Friedman reporting that there was a meeting between Pinto and the Senators, and the Ottawa Senators then had a discussion with their players about what is or isn't allowed and all of that. So, this does shed some light on what Pinto may very well have been doing and how involved this was. So, first off, don't share your account. If you have an account that you're betting on sports with, don't share that account with other people. So, that's something that we've heard once around this story already, so it's there. Don't place your bets with third parties. So, that seems pretty simple and straightforward. If you do a prop bet, it will be treated the same as betting on a hockey game. So if you're saying, well, not technically betting on a hockey game, it's a prop bet, the NHL does not distinguish between the two. So this way they can say, well, he never bet on a hockey game, and they can be telling the truth. He could be telling the truth, but there may have been some prop betting around that, right? Don't joke about odds with your friends. So, meaning if a friend texts you and says, I have $300 on you, get a goal tonight. No, not really. No. So that's something that the players are being told. Also, don't share insight on injury information. We've talked about injury information and how the gambling world was going to basically demand full transparency. We haven't seen it. And I guess this seems to insinuate that maybe Pinto was sharing some information. And it may have been something innocuous. Maybe a friend of his saying, hey, so what's going on with so-and-so? Oh, he's got a broken ankle. He's going to be out 6 weeks. Whereas what we hear in the public is, we're not so sure, he's out indefinitely, lower body injury, right? That's inside information. And that would absolutely, be a one-up for anybody talking to a player about injury stuff. Also, don't bet illegally like with a bookmaker. So there's a lot there. There's a lot to unpack. And yeah, the fact that, bookmakers come in doesn't necessarily surprise me, but that is something that players are going to have to watch out for. So I don't know how many of these things relate to Pinto's suspension, but the fact he's met with the team, the fact the team talked to the players, and now there's going to be a Zoom calls between NHL players and the NHLPA outlining all of this means the NHLPA and the league are kind of lockstep on this, as close to lockstep as you're going to see between the union and the owners and everybody else around NHL head office, right? So it is an interesting time to be an Ottawa Senators fan around all this Pinto stuff. Plus, as a bonus, it is believed by those, and Friedman's reporting this, that the Sens will also be punished for the Dodonov trade. Remember the Dodonov trade years ago? So apparently, the no trade list, which Vegas had been told by the Ottawa Senators, he didn't submit it in time, so it's not a problem. Then he gets traded to Anaheim, and he's like, no, that's on my no trade list. I'm not going there. Apparently Ottawa's been ruled to be at fault. We'll see what the punishment is over the next few days. But there's going to be some kind of punishment, so it may very well be a draft pick. It won't be a first. I can't see it being a first, but may very well be a draft pick. It may be a fine. I don't think it's going to be anything major, but it's basically, they've done this investigation. It's odd because it's been so long since that trade was rescinded, but here we are, and the Senators apparently are going to get punished for that. Montour and Ekblad have been out for the Florida Panthers, who've still managed to put together a 4-3 record in their absence. The good news for Florida fans is both players will accompany the team on their upcoming road trip. So Florida Panthers could get healthy pretty soon here. They also could have themselves too many defensemen by one or two by the time this is done. So Florida then would have the option of maybe trading a defenseman. Florida would also have the option of trying to sneak one or two through waivers. it will be interesting to see what they do when that time arrives, right? Now, for what everybody's talking about around the hockey world today, tragic news out of the EIHL. The Nottingham Panthers forward Adam Johnson, who did play in the National Hockey League, he has passed away after a freak accident. So I have not witnessed, nor do I wish to witness, any of said footage of what took place. The skate cuts are scary things. We saw just this week in the National Hockey League, Lauko almost getting a skate in the eye. And of course, for hockey fans who are old enough to remember the Clint Malarchuk incident, that's as scary as it gets too. And if not for a doctor being at that end of the arena, it could have had the same outcome. And that affected Malarchuk for the rest of his career as well. Just that memory of that, and he's been very outspoken on how that changed things for him. So I feel terrible for, and in no order, like his friends, his family, teammates, and of course for the player he collides with in this case. It is a dangerous game, and anytime skate blades are flying around out there, I get very nervous. I get very scared of, in certain situations, players, just the proximity of the skate towards a player's head, it's just it can be scary stuff. Hockey is not an easy sport, and it's definitely not a safe sport. So Nottingham has announced as well that they've postponed the next 2 games. And I don't know necessarily if that means that the third game on the schedule then gets played. I would imagine the league will work with Nottingham on making sure that they come back and play when they're ready. And it could take a little while. Obviously, for good reason, it could take a little while. Johnson was off to a good start to the season. He had 7 points in 7 games. He was one of their best players. And so, again, my thoughts go out to his friends, his family, teammates, and of course, anybody who was in attendance. They immediately got everybody out of the building because of the medical emergency. And it's just it is a dangerous sport. But at any rate, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.